And that's how long Amari Cooper's second stint with the Raiders lasted. In case you missed it, Amari Cooper just retired from the NFL just days before week 1 after signing with the Raiders a few weeks ago. He spent 2 weeks with the Raiders and realized he was not built to play in the NFL anymore, or he simply just wasn't having fun. And I don't blame him. I mean, who'd want to play for the freaking Raiders? Amari Cooper was one of the high-profile names in free agency and at the wide receiver spot the entire offseason. A lot of people were curious where he was going to end up playing, where he would sign. And when he did sign with the Raiders, multiple people were expecting this to be his last season, last hurrah. He's going to finish his career where he got started and drafted by the Raiders, and then 2 weeks go by and he ends up retiring. And we're going to be breaking that all down in today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe, help support the channel. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We just hit 14K. Shout out to you guys, appreciate the support. Let's keep this thing going. And with all that being said, let's dive into Amari Cooper's 2-week stint with the Raiders and his trolling of the team. In case you missed it, Amari Cooper has officially retired from the NFL after 10 seasons in the league. This was reported on Thursday from Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo. And this is a little surprising after Amari Cooper just a few weeks ago signed with the Raiders after he spent an entire offseason kind of feeling out his market. I think there's a few other teams that were interested in him, but he ended up signing with the Raiders and then 2 weeks later retiring. And this is the perfect description right here of that situation. Amari Cooper, after being on the Raiders for 10 days, I'm not having fun anymore. Odell Beckham won't playing football. And maybe he just didn't have the fire in him to continue to go through another season. Maybe there's something wrong with the Raiders organization that made him not want to keep playing. Regardless though, the situation is just pretty funny. We should give a shout out to Amari Cooper's career though. He had a pretty underrated career. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler at the wide receiver spot, 711 receptions, 10,000 receiving yards, and 64 receiving touchdowns. He had a really good career. We can't even lie about that. He had a good career, played for the Raiders, then he went to the Cowboys, and then the Browns, and didn't he go back to the Cowboys, and then ended with the Bills, and then just spent 2 weeks with the Raiders. Actually, let's pull up what teams he was on because I feel like I'm missing one at the moment. Let's see, Amari Cooper. Okay, so Amari Cooper spent his first 4 years with the Raiders, then the Cowboys, then the Browns, then the Bills. Okay, for some whatever reason, I thought he went back to the Cowboys after his stint with the Browns. But just 2 years ago, had 1,000 yards with the Browns. Yeah, didn't do so hot with the Bills this past season. But yeah, good career for a good wide receiver. I think he was a 2nd-round pick. Amari Cooper draft pick. Amari Cooper, when was he drafted? He was the 4th overall pick in 2015. There's no way he was the... I'm sorry for the lack of preparation in this video. Oh my gosh, Amari Cooper was the 4th overall pick? I did not know that. Well, shout out to him. Good for him. Good for his career. Yeah, shout out to Amari Cooper then for being the number 4 overall pick, having a pretty solid career in the NFL. 5 Pro Bowls, 10,000 yards, 64 touchdowns. Now, is he going to make the Hall of Fame? I don't think he should, but he had a pretty good career. He can make it into the Hall of pretty good. What makes the situation even more funny is that a very similar situation occurred for the Raiders just a year ago. Last season, in April of 2024, Cowboys or former Cowboys receiver Michael Gallup signed a 1-year deal with the Raiders on a $3 million contract. Gallup was a decently high-profile name, free agent wide receiver, signed April 2024, and then Michael Gallup retired July 23rd. Spent 2-3 months on the Raiders and decided to retire, and it's pretty funny that that happened in back-to-back seasons. This one happening with Amari Cooper just a few days before week 1, and after being on the team for only 10 days is a little bit funnier. He lasted just a little bit longer than Jalen Carter did in the opening kickoff game. The Raiders wide receiver situation is pretty interesting though, to say the least. I think it was either after or before they signed Amari Cooper. Wide receiver Jacoby Myers met with the team brass with the Raiders and requested to be traded. The team, citing his value, said they had no plans to do so or trade him. I believe he's in search of a new contract. Myers and the team attempted to negotiate a new contract but could not come to new terms, and that's why he requested a trade. But that really did not get anywhere. Jacoby Myers kept it simple when the media asked him about his trade request. I asked to be traded. They simply just said no.
Jacoby, there were reports about, asking for a trade. Where are things with that, and how do you separate, the business side from going out there?
I asked, they said no, and that's kind of that's where that stopped. But I mean, I'm just keep doing my job until something shake out either way. Honestly, I don't know which way it's gonna go, but I'll be ready for whatever.
Are you pretty confident that something will work out here?
I wouldn't say I'm pretty confident. Like I said, I really don't know where it's gonna go, but I know, like I said, I'm ready. I'm ready to go if you want me to go. I'm ready to play if you need me to play.
Are you happy here?
Am I happy? It's a job, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I'm happy to be doing my job with my boys, but I could be happy anywhere.
Looking at the Raiders wide receiver room, it isn't the best. Trey Tucker, I think he's a solid number 5.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Looking at the Raiders wide receiver room, it's okay. Trey Tucker's a solid number 4, number 5 option. Dante Thornton, their 4th round pick this year. He's a rookie, but there's a lot of expectations for him. Justin Shorter, I believe they just signed him up from the practice squad. Jacoby Myers is their wide receiver 1. And then the Raiders also have another rookie wide receiver in Jack Beck. He was their 2nd round pick wide receiver. So, yeah, Jacoby Myers definitely leading the front there. They could have used Amari Cooper definitely over Justin Shorter, but he decided to retire. Of course, the Raiders got their main weapons right here in Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer at tight end. Brock Bowers might be the best tight end in the NFL. And Michael Mayer, he's a solid number 2 option. They spent a 2nd round pick on him a few years ago. But yeah, the wide receivers are pretty thin. The Raiders did make a few moves after Amari Cooper retired to make some roster space at the wide receiver position for the team. But it wasn't anything game-changing, so they signed Justin Shorter to the active roster like we said. They signed wide receiver Phillip Dorsett to their practice squad. Those are the wide receiver moves. Then they placed Amari Cooper on the reserve/retired list. So that's the moves they made there at the wide receiver position as they get ready to take on the New England Patriots on Sunday, which should be a pretty good game. I'm really curious to see what this new Raiders regime and era looks like under Pete Carroll, Geno Smith. Obviously, Brock Bowers is a good player. Ashton Genty, of course, is their new weapon back there at the running back position. He's someone who I'm sure there's a lot of excitement around. So I'm excited to see what the Raiders can do going up against the Patriots, who are building around Drake May. They got Stephon Diggs this offseason. They're kind of building around Drake May, but they didn't do a whole lot this offseason, I think, to help him, although they did get Mike Vrabel. So this can be a really interesting game coming up. But yeah, Amari Cooper retired after 10 days with the Raiders, basically reminding me of Antonio Brown dipping from the Buccaneers mid-game. Let me know down in the comments what you make of Amari Cooper's retirement and the Raiders situation and team in general, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.